You want to save $1,000 on your wedding dress, honey. I'm your girl. Welcome to my channel. I'm Emily. Pour yourself a glass of wine, girl, because congratulations. You're probably here because you just got engaged and you want to know all the things about wedding dress shopping, or you are someone that I know and you want to hear about all of my tips for wedding dress shopping. The more the merrier. I welcome them all. So let's get down to business. I want to discuss a few things about wedding dress shopping because I feel like I had a really wonderful experience during a really crazy time. So obviously right now we're in COVID. You can't have like a normal wedding dress shopping experience because a lot of the stores are limiting the amount of guests you can bring. I mean, in my head, when I pictured going wedding dress shopping, I thought I'd bring like 10 people and I'd find the dress that day, and like I had this whole fantasy in my head. And to be completely honest with you, and nothing that I had in my head growing up of how I thought wedding dress shopping would be played out at all. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about that and give you guys a real conversation about what it's like to go wedding dress shopping during times of COVID. Or even if people are watching this and we are past pandemic and just living life, these are also going to be tips that you can consider as well. But I'm just basing this off of my experience, and I am a pandemic bride. So first things first, when you first get engaged, one of the first things that you want to do is set a budget. If you are going to be paying for this wedding yourselves, then it's super important to have that conversation and figure out how much money that you want to spend. And from there, from that big budget, you can kind of take a smaller budget for things such as a wedding dress. Some family members are helping you pay for your wedding, family, friends, whoever it is that you consider your family. If they are helping you out with your wedding expenses, then you'll definitely want to go ahead and set a budget with them right away. This can be a very tricky conversation to have, especially for me. I don't like to talk money with family at all, or friends. Like, I just don't like to talk about it. I just feel it's, a very awkward conversation to have. If your family doesn't directly come out to you and say like, hey, we're gonna give you this budget, you do need to go ahead and figure out a very polite way to ask. Whenever they come back to you with a budget, once again, just take a smaller chunk of that budget and allocate that to your wedding dress budget. Once you have your budget all set and you're ready to go, you can start making appointments at stores. I started off at the mecca of all wedding dress shopping stores, which is Kleinfeld. And compared to the other stores, I have to say, I didn't really love my Kleinfeld experience. I don't know if it was just because of the pandemic, I could only try on a couple dresses, and it just was very rushed when I got to Kleinfeld. They had overbooked, and they actually told me that I could no longer go to my appointment and I could only go in 2 hours. So it was kind of awkward because I had two friends with me and we were kind of forced to just like go down the street and like try to find somewhere to like sit outside in the cold weather and wait it out. I don't know, it just felt like they weren't necessarily like really personalizing it and catering it to me. And so I wanted to go somewhere where I felt super well taken care of. If you are hyping up Kleinfeld and you're feeling like because of the pandemic you're not able to go shopping at Kleinfeld, or you're feeling sad like I was that my mom and my sisters couldn't be there for that experience, you may not be missing anything at all. So take advantage of those small stores that are around you and go in there. I had a wonderful experience at all of the small businesses that I went to that happened to be just like local bridal boutiques. They treated me the best. I could try on as many dresses as I wanted, and we just worked really hard to find that dress. If you go into Kleinfeld, you kind of need to know already what you're looking for, and I was walking in there as the first stop on my list. I had no idea what I was looking for, and the fact that my appointment technically had gone so long because we had to wait 2 hours, I waited so long to try on like 5 dresses that were just not it. And then when I was in the dressing room with my consultant, who was lovely, like if you see this, you were fantastic, but I was told that my budget was too low for the typical like dress at Kleinfeld, which I felt like my budget was pretty on par for what I've seen people like go into Kleinfeld for on Say Yes to the Dress. So I felt really confident with my budget. I thought it was pretty big and like at the right price point. And I saw a bunch of dresses online at that price point, so I didn't think it was gonna be an issue, but it was apparently an issue, and I just didn't get that feeling at Kleinfeld. So I went to, I think in total, so let's see, I went to Kleinfeld. I went wedding dress shopping in Pennsylvania next with my fiance's mom. That was so wonderful and such a special experience. She took me to a local shop. It was awesome. They had all of these wedding dresses that were super beautiful. There was nobody else in this whole store, and so we kind of got the whole store to ourselves, and I could try on as many dresses as I wanted, and I didn't feel rushed, and it just was absolutely wonderful. I saw that there was a little Thanksgiving sale at a bridal store that's pretty famous here in New York City, Pronovius. I'm a Pronovius bride, I'm just gonna go out and say it. But it's just down the street from where we live, and sometimes I walk Calvin to Central Park down that street, and their window display is fantastic. It's so beautiful. You walk past it and you're just drooling all over all the dresses in the window display and on the racks that you can see in the window. And every time I passed by there, like when I go wedding dress shopping, I'm gonna get my wedding dress from there, or when I go wedding dress shopping, you know, like I have to pop in and try on a dress here. I had no idea that Pronovius wasn't like, I mean, I know some of their dresses are on more of the expensive side, but some of them are actually pretty reasonable, and I didn't know that. I just thought because they have like a Fifth Avenue flagship store that all of their dresses were probably gonna be in the 10,000 range and up. So I just thought I was gonna pop in and like play dress up for a little bit and like dream, but I walked in that day by myself. There was a little sale and I just decided to go. I found my dress, but I didn't know it was my dress at the time, but I found it. And it's so funny because I have footage of trying it on, and I have pictures in my camera roll, and I loved almost every single dress that I put on my body there. I also could only try on, I think, 7 dresses in the appointment, but my consultant got me. She understood what I wanted, and she brought a whole bunch of different dresses in for me, and I put this one on. That's mine, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know what, there's nothing wrong with this dress. Like, it's so beautiful, but I didn't picture myself in something like this. It's stunning, and it's the only dress on my camera roll that I have pictures of, like the price tag and the SKU and like all of that. So I was like really thinking about it. I took 2 weeks after that and really thought about this dress, and I went back in and tried it on, and I took my friend Melissa with me, and I was like, critique this dress like crazy. And she had a couple things that she pointed out, but once I explained to her the details and like why I liked it, she was like, oh yes, I see this, wow, okay. They had their like head manager who also oversees all of the tailoring. Her name is Clara. She came over and she like expertly pinned me into the dress, and I saw myself, and because the consultants are really fantastic. My consultant's name is Janelle, and I still text with her all the time. She's like really fantastic, and just like really cares about me. She does a really good job at pinning too, but when you have an expert like seamstress come in and put you into a dress, it's a whole different feeling. And I could see the dress like perfectly fitting me, and like every little, oh my God. I kind of knew, but after that, Garrick and I were traveling for the holidays. We went to Dallas to go see my dad and my stepmom. And while we were there, I went to, I think it was 3 different bridal appointments. I went to Patsy's in Dallas first, and I had a very wonderful experience there. They had so many beautiful dresses. I'm pretty sure my consultant's name was Megan there, and she was really awesome. We were wearing the same boots when I walked in, so that was really nice. I must have tried on like 20 dresses there. I just went crazy. They have, they carry Essence of Australia, and all of their dresses are phenomenal. They're just gorgeous. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking the whole time about this dress from Pronovius. So no bad things to say about Patsy's. Wonderful experience. Next store that I went to the next day was called Lulu's in Dallas, and I didn't know that I was gonna have a good experience when I walked in. I gotta be honest. The receptionist was really rude to us. I don't know what it was, but it was just weird. It was like really weird energy when we walked in, and even my dad and my stepmom were like, what the fuck? Like, should we leave? But then my bridal consultant came out and greeted us, and her name's Tiffany, and she's fantastic. I will always remember her for like the rest of my life because she was so amazing, and I wish that I'd found my dress there, to be honest with you, because of how amazing Tiffany was. She pulled all of these incredible vintagey looking dresses because we're having a great Gatsby Roaring 20s themed wedding. So she pulled all of those kind of dresses, and every dress that I tried on, I mean, hit the nail on the head that I ended up finding my second favorite dress there. It was pretty close. Like, it was, I was confused for a minute because I was like, wait a minute, these dresses are so different, and I like this one, but I really like this one, and I don't know. And then we went to another dress store. I'm not even gonna mention their name because they were just, it was awful. It was an awful experience, and I don't know if I just was tired, but I think it was like, it was a sample showroom, so it's off the rack. So you try on dresses that are off the rack, but my consultant was like, not really into it. She was like putting me into dresses that I didn't really like, and they didn't really carry the styles that I liked. So it might've been a little mishap on our part. But it just was like, I don't know, the energy was weird. I felt like I was gonna pass out towards the end. I don't know, it's just, I was just ready to be done. So that was my dress shopping experience in Dallas. And then from Dallas, we went to Orlando. I just want to put a disclaimer in here that we did take COVID tests in between all of this. In Orlando, we went to Calvé Couture, and my experience there, the consultant was wonderful. First of all, it's not her fault, but Calvé Couture in Winter Park, I guess it's in the Orlando area, does not carry inclusive sizing at all. And because I'm mid-size, I'm in between being regular sizing or like bridal couture sizing and plus sizing. So sometimes I can fit into the size 10, 12 that they have, which is usually the largest size that they carry. But in bridal sizing, it's 2 sizes up than your street size. So if I'm a size 12, my bridal sizing falls somewhere between a 14 and a 16 ideally, and then they can pin and tuck and make you look all nice. Calvé Couture, every dress I put on, I was busting the seams. They didn't fit. It was awful because this was the first place that my mom ever saw me try on a wedding dress, and I feel like they could have advertised their sizing a little bit more. All of the dresses that they carried were absolutely drop dead gorgeous. So if you are in that size range, definitely go there and try on dresses. I'm not saying to not go there. I'm just saying I would really appreciate just some more inclusive sizing. My next experience was going to Lily's in Orlando, and Lily's was another one of my favorite places. They also carried the same dress that I fell in love with from Lulu's in Dallas, and I got to try it on there and show my mom. It was a beautiful moment, but it was at that point that I realized that my Pronovius dress was just the one. One more stop in the Winter Park area, and I'm not going to mention the name of this salon. If you guys want to know the names of the salons that I didn't like, please just message me privately. I don't feel comfortable blasting businesses negatively during COVID, and my experience, I don't think is the experience that everybody's gonna have there. That's also the purpose of not blasting their name, but my experience just wasn't fantastic. This place was drop dead gorgeous on the inside. I thought for sure I was gonna find a dress. It's like 3 bridal consultants that were like the little 3 fairies from the Sleeping Beauty, and they just like whisk you in and they like undress you and they put you in dresses and then they throw you out to your family and you show them your dress and then they go, okay. And then they put you in a new one. So I gotta have a glass of wine for this one because they just made me so angry. For me, I have to figure out how to word this properly because this might sound bad, but I don't mean it to sound bad. It was a very Southern experience. It came off kind of uppity and it made me uncomfortable, and I am curvier. I am not a size 2 or 4. And I felt like they didn't have enough in my size either, but didn't want to say anything, but were frustrated with me for being bigger. I don't know, I got that energy from them and I didn't like that. They also wouldn't let me look in the mirror at any of the dresses. Like, I would put the dress on, they would not give me a minute to myself to like look at it. Like, hi, I'm the one in the dress. Like, hi, I'm the reason that you are going to make a sale. They just wanted me to show my mom. Like, they were not giving me a say in anything. It was all about my mom and her say. And I just found that to be really bizarre. And then when they weren't really pulling dresses for me that like were what I asked them to pull, I was like, yeah, I'd like to try on a couple more. I just don't think the ones that you've pulled are really for me. They were like, oh, well, we have another appointment coming in, so we have a back closet we can put you in if you don't mind. I was like, okay, I'll try on one more dress, and I gave it one more try because I just wanted to be nice and give them another try, and they put me in a really awful gown. I left, my blood was boiling, and it's like they didn't say anything to me, but they were like, you know, saying stuff to me with their nice Southern polite words. Like, us Southern gals, we know when we are giving backhanded compliments, and I was getting a lot of that. So that was a very uncomfortable experience for me, and at that point in time I knew that I was done wedding dress shopping and it was time to buy my dress. So now I want to share with you some tips for what you might want to bring to a bridal appointment. So if you are going alone and you cannot bring friends or family due to COVID, or you cannot bring friends and family because, you know, you're just going spur of the moment like I did, I have a phone tripod, and I brought that with me to the appointments that I didn't bring anybody with, or that's also another way to bring people that wish they could be there but aren't there. And you can just FaceTime them. It's really easy, but the tripod really changes the game. So I'll have my phone tripod that I use for vlogging or wedding dress shopping with people on the phone. I'll link it down below. The next thing that I want to tell you guys to bring is a hair tie. If you have long hair like me, I can't tell you how many times each bridal consultant told me that a lot of women do not bring hair ties to put their hair up, and your bridal consultant is trying to pin you into a dress and your hair is just all over the place. Like, do not do that to them. Bring a hair tie, put your hair up, and then let it down once they've pinned you in all properly, and then put it back up when they go to take you out of the dress. If you have a specific pair of heels that you would like to bring, you can bring that. I didn't bring any pair of heels. I just went barefoot, but that's up to you if you want to do that or not. It's totally fine. However, one of my biggest tips for wedding dress shopping is to bring a pair of like Spanx or like a little pair of shorts or something, because when they are trying to fit a wedding dress on you that might be like maybe a size small, but they're still like, oh, it'll go up, it'll squeeze, shimmy in. If you are not wearing some sort of like shapewear shorts, it's not gonna go up and it's gonna feel really uncomfortable on your skin. So I would 1000% recommend, I don't care what size you are, to bring a little pair of like bike shorts or shapewear or something. I had a really thin pair of shapewear that I got at Marshall's, and I just wore those. They're very thin and like silky and soft, and like the dresses just slid up. So that's what you need. Some of the shops require a deposit. Some of them required a like $50 deposit. Some of them required a $25 deposit to hold your appointment time. So because they're only letting so many people into the stores because of COVID. So if you don't show up for your appointment and they blocked off an hour or an hour and a half for you, that's potentially money that they're losing as a small business. So that's why they are doing the little fee. It is only charged if you don't show for your appointment. Usually they have a cancellation policy, so just go ahead and make sure, you know, that you've got all of your things sorted so you can get there and not get charged. Negotiating your wedding dress. This was a big thing. So the wedding dress that I purchased was way more expensive than the price that I got it for. So the wedding dress that I purchased, I'm not gonna say the price because I feel like I could easily look it up on the internet if I do that. So I've already told you the brand. You can negotiate your wedding dress down. You can call other stores in less expensive states that may carry that dress and ask what they can do for you if they're running any specials. Guilty as charged. I got my dress for $1,000 less than what they wanted to sell it to me for in New York because I called a store in Florida that was running a deal, and I called Pronovius up and I was like, hey, look, like I'm gonna buy this dress from this store. Are you guys able to price match it? And they totally did. And it worked out to be better because I bought it from the store that's in my neighborhood and I can go there and see it. I'm gonna get my alterations done there. So do your research and negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. You have the power to do so. So call around to see who carries this style of dress. You can usually look it up by the SKU number online. If your dress is Pronovius, you can look up the dress on the Pronovius website and it'll tell you which stores carry that specific dress. That's what I found very helpful in my little detective work. So if you want to save $1,000 on your wedding dress, honey, I'm your girl. I also got to go wedding dress shopping with my best friend, and her mom used to manage one of the highest rated David's bridals in the country. She's like amazing. She knows her wedding dresses. And there was this one girl in the shop who had just said yes to her dress, and she turned and she actually asked me and her mother, my friend's mom, if you know, what we think about the dress, and her dress actually looked really similar to mine. So I was like, girl, I pretty much got the same dress. You look incredible. I love it. And my friend's mom said, can you picture yourself wearing this dress, you know, obviously for your wedding day, but can you picture it in photos hanging on your wall for the next 60 years or whatever? The girl was like, I can. And I'm like, I can with mine too. That was really helpful. Also, another thing, let's talk like bridal diets and fitting into your dress. I personally am on a little bride diet. You don't have to get on one, but I'm going to, and I already have, and I'm a couple pounds down already, which is great. I'm a little wine for reward. It's all about balance, you know? My plan is to drop about 40 pounds. That's my goal. I have told everyone if I reach that goal, fantastic. If I don't, fantastic. I have ordered the dress in the size that fits me right now, and in alterations, they will be able to take it into whatever size I am when I go to my alterations appointment later this year. I'm not worried about it, but I do have to say to anybody trying to lose weight, do not order your dress smaller than what you are. Order it a size larger, okay? You want to have that extra fabric so when they do your alterations and take it in, it's like the dress was made for you and sewn to your body perfectly. If you don't have that extra fabric to take from here or there, or you know, it's gonna look terrible. I don't know what to tell you, but it's not gonna fit your body properly because it's coming off of probably just like a dress form. If you have that extra fabric to work with, they can make the dress, they can finish making the dress technically on your body. So that's what you want. Order it bigger, not smaller. Also, if you order it bigger, you can get the scraps from your wedding dress and you can have it, you know, repurposed, you can hang on to it, you can, you know, I don't know, there's so many beautiful things that you can do with the scraps from your wedding dress. So I covered that I went to a lot of wedding dress stores. I think there's a point in your heart where you know that you're just done. And it's kind of sad because a couple weeks later, you're like, oh, I wish I could just go try on some more wedding dresses, but I don't want to jinx the dress that I chose. You know, you don't ever want to go back and try more on. Don't do that. Stick with the one that you love, fantasize about the one that you love and you already purchased so you don't have dress regret. Because I see that quite a lot in some of the Facebook groups that I'm in, is girls having dress regret. And it's 9 times out of 10 because they continue to go shopping after they made a purchase. Don't do that to yourself. My wedding dress is thousands of dollars and is non-refundable. So there's no way in hell that I am having dress regret. One of the biggest questions that I had when starting this process was, how soon is too soon to go wedding dress shopping? And I had so many mixed reviews from so many people, but however, considering COVID, my dress is being sewn. It takes usually 7 to 10 months. With COVID, it can take anywhere between 9 to 12 months. So you want to make sure that you have plenty of time to order your dress. I ordered my dress at the end of December, so I've given them 11 months to make my dress in Spain. You also have options to buy dresses off the rack. The samples, they tend to be a lot cheaper, and you can get them fixed in alterations. You can find dresses secondhand online. That's what one of my friends found, and she looks fantastic. You just usually need like alterations and stuff like that, and it's good. But basically what I'm saying is it's never too soon to start trying on wedding dresses after you are engaged. Go out there, start trying on dresses, start the process, and then after going to a couple stores, you'll kind of have an idea, and then you can make a purchase. Purchasing a wedding dress, it can range in a bunch of different ways. Sometimes they want a deposit to start making the dress, and then the rest of the deposit is due at alterations. Sometimes they want everything up front. It's just going to depend on where you shop. Also, don't forget to celebrate this moment. It's a very big moment when you get your wedding dress. Even if you find it by yourself, like I did, I found mine technically by myself. Or you know, celebrate, whether you call your family, or you pop some champagne, or you go and get like your favorite cookie, like whatever. Make sure you celebrate that moment because it is a huge, huge moment in your life. Well, I hope that you enjoyed all of these tips for wedding dress shopping. These are all of the things that I wish that I knew before I got started. These were all of the questions that I had and all of the things that I was thinking about. So I wanted to make this video because I'm sure I'm not alone, and I'm sure someone out there was wondering some of the same things. As always, I try to answer every single message that I get. Every single comment that I receive. So comment away, give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel so I can keep making more videos more often that are like this. And if you are a bride that is watching this, please comment down below because I want to get to know you. I want to follow you on Instagram. I want to keep up with your wedding journey. So please let me know where to follow you in the comments. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I will see you soon. Cheers.